Hello and thank you for clicking on this video. If you're here, you're probably studying or just investigating what kenneling or crating is. It's a subject that's controversial, but it's not controversial. It's the view that people have on it is controversial. Now, forgive the appearance of my house. I'm cleaning it up. It's not a house, it's an apartment. It's a New York City apartment, and I have stuff around, and it's just, we don't have a lot of space, and we're just trying to work things out, and we're moving out of here anyway, so it's like we have a lot of stuff. And this brings us to the subject of, can you have a big dog in a small apartment? You can absolutely have a big dog. I have two German Shepherds. I had a Nikita that just passed away. She was 15 years old. She just passed away last week. And I had three of them, and I have a cat. And we're doing great. Now, in the process of cleaning my apartment, I want to explain something really quick. Now, this is Axel, okay? Axel right here is sleeping in his crate. He is in peace right now, and you could see that he's very calm, very nice. Axel is 7 months old, and he is in the 90s already. Okay, I haven't weighed him lately, but I am definitely sure he is in the 90s. It's just how much in the 90s is he right now? Huge dog, beautiful dog, well behaved. Got him since 8 weeks old, and crate trained him since 8 weeks old. Now this is a playpen, and I'm hooking it up to here. So he has three stages. He has the stage where he is free in the house, and he has the stage where he is in his playpen, which is another sort of freedom but limitation. And then there is the stage where he is kenneled. Right now he is kenneled, and he does not, he goes, this is his home. This is what happened when you crate your dog, when you crate train your dog, it becomes their zen time place, even if you're not asking them to go in there and locking them in. But the training requires locking in, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna find how you could train them. You know, you bring the little dog, you put him in the crate for 15 minutes, you close him down, whatever. You don't respond to his cries and stuff. As soon as he stops crying, boom, you let him out. And then the next time you add a little extra and a little extra, and this is what happens. Now, how did Axel end up right here, right now, at this moment, which made me want to make this video? Axel ended up here because, first of all, this morning he had a lot of fun. He went to the front yard with Arya, and you know, Arya doesn't get kenneled anymore, but she gets kenneled when it needs to be, and she's crate trained too. You know, he had a lot of fun. He had his meal, and I was giving him a free day out. But since I was cleaning, I saw that most of the time I will crate. The only time I will really crate Axel is if I'm going out, which is the best scenario for your dog. It keeps your dog safe, it keeps the house safe, and God forbid if there is a fire or something, as you could see that I have the dog crated right by, God forbid if there is a fire or something, if he's by the door, the firefighters will be able to get him out quickly. He will not freak out and run somewhere or start, you know, going nuts. He knows that he's in the crate. They'll be able to handle him. Crate training is absolutely efficient for so much, and it does so much good. And we're not even talking about the mental. You could see I'm standing here, he's not even going excited, and he wasn't ready to go to bed. This is what you need to understand. Now, I'm cleaning the apartment, and he got a little, excited with the broom. I'm sure you understand that. And I said, okay, you know what? I think this is time where he should go to his crate. So, Axel, go home. He goes home. Absolutely no fighting, he just understand it's time that he goes home. It's once you say that he has to go home, he understand that it's time that he needs to go to his little place. Of course, you have to have the dimensions measured very well for your dog, and your dog will have to be able to stand up and turn around, don't give him a huge kennel, because dogs who are not very well trained, they might end up doing pee-pee in there. My dogs crate trained. They learn how to hold their pee. They learn how to hold themselves until you enable them. My dogs, he's 7 months. He does not pee in the house. He stopped peeing in the house after 2 months. Okay, and the same for Arya. They hold it very well, even if they're not kenneled. They hold it very well. Once you come, they go out there, they do it, they understand, they're doing great. And as you can see right now, he's sleeping because I sent him home, and he went there, he sat down, and you could right away see the calmness in him. And this is why crate training is absolutely great. As right now, look, I got a whole mess over here. I'm sorry, I'm trying not to show much, okay? Because some people tend to be, little commenty about it. But it is what it is. And like I said, I live in New York. And New York is, the apartments are not really big, and there's not. If you train your dog the right way, you could have a Great Dane. You could have anything. Crates are absolutely beautiful. Kennels are great too, as long as it's the right size. Now we had gotten this one for Aria, and Aria just happened. Oh, sorry, Axel. Aria just happened to be a lot smaller than Axel, so we swapped, and we gave her his kennel, and we gave him this one. Now this is the playpen. This has been a godsend with Axel when he was young, because when you have a male German Shepherd, they tend to be a lot more or a lot less immature and mature very slowly compared to female German Shepherds. So for him, it was a great way. I can extend this really well. I just don't want to bother Axel, and you can see, like, he's chilling and having a blast. He understands, and great trained to the point where even if I have to not be home, or I'm not able, I want to be home for my dogs most I can. But when I'm not able to, and there is nobody at home, the best place for them to be is right there. And when they're crate trained, they understand that, they enjoy that, they love that, they know that he's not here and he has me in a safe place. And I could extend this playpen. Actually, you could. It looks like it's part of it, but it's not. We had bought that separately, and it's a really nice playpen, and you could connect it to your crate. I could extend it now, but I just don't want to bother Axel, okay? And you could see it. And when he comes out, there are a lot of times, there are different situations. Like, for example, when Axel is tired, he will go to his home right there. Even if it's open, you don't have to tell him to go. That's his home. That's his little spot. Okay, and he enjoys it very well. Why? Because they're crate trained. It's not torture. Now, when here's another time where I need to kennel Axel is, I say kennel crate. It's more or less the same thing. It's not the same thing. This is a crate. A kennel is the plastic one. I prefer crates, but kennels have their purposes too. But anyway, you get the point. If I say kennel or crate, it's just I'm in the moment, and that's it. Now, I kennel Axel, especially the second part where I kennel him most of the time is, for example, let's say he had his fun, he had his training, he had his he lost his energy and everything. He ate his food, he drank his water, he had his time to be around and play with Arya. But it's that time where I put him in the playpen at night. And I don't kennel him at night, but if I need to, I will. But I put him in the playpen, and I put him some YouTube, and he gets some relaxing music, and he goes to bed. Thank God we have technology now that you could do things like that for free even. Now when that time comes where he needs to be in his playpen and be calm, but yet he's a little bit somehow agitated, that is the time where I need to kennel him, because he needs help getting relaxed. And sometimes dogs are just too wired for whatever reason. It doesn't have to be any special reason. They just too wired, and they need your help. There are so many. I speak to people, and the first thing that comes is, well, my poodle doesn't need to get kenneled. My poodle is small. He's well behaved. I allow my dog to be all over my house because my dog is very well behaved. You know what? Fine. That's great. This is not the issue. The issue is when you're not around and your dog is not kenneled and your dog behaves, that's great. But if you have big dogs, there are other reasons. When it's time for your dog not to get kenneled or crated anymore, then you don't have to, but they do go back to it. And this is what you don't understand. This is what you need to understand, is that this is what certain people don't understand, is that crating creates a mental state. It teaches a dog where their own place is. You see, the house is everybody's place. The couch is everybody's place. But definitely that is his place. And they keep going to it. Okay? And there are so many horror stories that people don't like to talk about because nobody wants to say they killed their dogs, especially when you're dealing with like little chihuahuas. I actually have an in-law who killed her chihuahua by sitting on it. Why? Because she did not know where the chihuahua was. And obviously it was an older lady whose attention span, is an older lady. Now, it's a mistake, but it's a mistake that cost a life. Now, when you know where your dog... Apparently, this lady forgot where her dog is because she was doing other things. And she didn't know where her dog is. Okay? And just her dog can be anywhere. But when you set a crate and a crate time... Even if your dog doesn't need it, your dog always needs to learn how to be crated. Because there would be, God forbid, a lot of situations where your dog will have to be crated. God forbid, where Katrina happened, or places that will allow dogs or whatever. They're not going to allow your dog unless your dog is crated. They don't care how big your dog is. For example, that things happen. Crate training does not mean you need to be really crating. Once you're done crate training and your dog does not need it anymore, then the crate stays open. Okay? Now, you don't want your dog, especially when you have German Shepherds and dogs with high energy, and there's a lot of horror stories. The dog chewed up the table, the dog chewed up the couches and all that. When you leave your dog, you know your dog is in a safe place. You're not torturing your dog. So I hope this helps, and I will make more videos about crate training, and you know what, he seems so like in the Zen mode that I was even planning to have him come out and show you how calmly he's gonna come out, and then right away I will say go back home, and he will just go home. Sometimes dogs will be a little reluctant, but most of the time he's not reluctant to do that, especially when it's like time. For example, this is siesta time, this is napping time for Axel, and a lot of times I would not be home around this time. So most of the time he knows his time and he will just go on his own. But for today, he seemed to be a little excited, and I'm cleaning the house and he's around, and so he didn't want to really go. So as soon as I say go home, it's not a problem. Look, he just goes into Zen. So I was gonna show you how quickly he can come out and how quickly he can come back, and there is absolutely no problem. But as you can see, Axel is in the zone, enjoying his nap. And I hope this helps in any way. Crating is not torturing. Crating is a great discipline, great training, great mental stimulation for dogs, where dogs most of the time are agitated, and a lot of times you can, it's great to take your dog so they can have fun and they can run, because a tired dog is a happy dog. But there are a lot of people who have this issue, and I read it where they talk and they say, look, I take my dog for 2 hours, I'm very active, we do jogging, we do a lot of exercises, and I come back home and the dog is not. That's because, one, the dog is lacking mental stimulation, and two, the dog is not crate trained. Once a dog is crate trained, they understand that once they put in their crate, they have to go into that Zen mode. And as a matter of fact, it helps them going into the Zen mode. I mean, putting them in the crate, sometimes they want to be able to relax. They're just not able. They're just a little agitated. It happens. There shouldn't be any reason for that. And crate training them, and then crating them when this happens solves your problems and theirs. I hope this helped. Thank you. And hopefully you can subscribe. I will have videos of Arya and Axel and running at the park, and they're beautiful dog. Axel is a very beautiful dog. He's just, you're not able to see that because he's laying down. Huge dog, and is half the age where he's full grown. Very well behaved. And yes, you can have a big dog in your apartment, just like I do in mine. Unfortunately, and I have to say that's a little bit negative, is I have upstairs neighbors who have kids that are not as behaved as my dogs are. I have kids too, and they're well behaved too, and they respect the neighbors and everything. My dogs get irritated by the running and the craziness that happens upstairs, but it's just part of life, and where we have to do the best. I make sure my neighbors, they see that I have these dogs, and they see, like, how can you have my neighbors don't even ask that question, but sometimes some stranger will be like, oh my god, like how could you have all these dogs in here? Well, they behave well and they're not bothering. Actually, Arya is in the other room laying down. They're not gonna go around ripping your house apart if you train them very well. Thank you for watching, and hopefully you can subscribe. Thank you.